First contact with Joshua Put.
Hello and welcome to First Contact Radio. I am here today. Thank you for being here. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed your Veterans Day. And once again, a shout out to all veterans. Thank you for your service to this country, to America. I know that it's a lot of hard work. I spent some time doing some support the troops tours, and I spent a year of my life going around to military bases and performing USO type tours, and I found that there was a tremendous amount of encouragement and excitement out there in the military with the men and women who are out there protecting America, and I really learned a tremendous amount by being out there amongst those fine men and women who are out doing their job and making the sacrifices that they are making. So once again, a shout out to all the veterans. Happy belated Veterans Day to you. I hope you had a great weekend. Let's continue on. We have a number of stories to get to, so let's check out first of all where we are in the world. Today on the Jewish calendar, we are at the 24th day of Cheshvan. However, on the Gregorian calendar, we are at the 13th day of November, year 2017 versus the year 5778. Both are accurate because these are the years according to the particular calendars. All right, now if we go over to our astrology for today, we could see our sun sign is progressed 21 degrees. So 9 more degrees before it moves out of the sign of Scorpio into the next sign. And our moon sign has progressed over the course of the weekend. It has been in Virgo, getting ready to come out of Virgo into Libra. So we've been in the earth sign, which is something that probably brought some stability to the course of this weekend. And now we're coming out of that. We'll be out of that very soon. To see if I click this little button here to progress this to the next day, we could see already tomorrow we're 10 degrees into the next moon sign. So you could see it moves pretty quick. So we are aware of what's going on. We're still finishing out our conscious mind. Scorpio, water sign, dealing with the emotions and the emotional death that occurs when the emotions are affected. This isn't about a physical death. It's all about the emotional death that occurs because what you have are things bubbling from deep below that have been pushed down, buried deep, and as they bubble to the surface, as they so often do throughout life, we have to deal with these issues, or we push them back down again. And eventually, we have to deal with them all because they keep bubbling to the surface. The more things pushed aside, the more opportunity for things to rise up to the surface. Over the course of the weekend, our moon sign has been here in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, shining the light, teaching, bringing harmony and balance between the two sides and unity, teaching. So this is where we were. This is why things have been a little bit grounded, but now as we're moving into the next phase, this here is where we're moving an air sign. Things start to move a little bit as we move into the air sign Libra, which will be later on today. There'll be a little bit more movement with the air, and then there's desire for us to see justice in the world. Okay? Justice, legal justice, not social justice. What we're seeing are examples of social justice, but this isn't about this. This is about the scales of balance, karmic law that is balanced out. And all the other nonsense that we play with these games of social justice are not the same things by any means. So those are the energies we're dealing with today. We've got water for our conscious mind. We've got earth for our unconscious mind, moving on into air. So we're getting ready to begin some movement in the mental areas. All right, let's jump into some stories here. First of all, we have the story of Judge Roy Moore. You have some people are accusing him of inappropriate activity with young people. I got to admit, I heard part of an interview he did on Sean Hannity, and I don't know if he helped his case at all in describing what he's describing. So more will have to come out from this case till we can decide what's really going on here. However, I also know on the accuser side that there are some real issues. Issues are that the people, the accusers, are connected to the opponent of Roy Moore. They're connected to the Democratic Party. They're connected to in all of the different ways that we see connections made when somebody is trying to push a false story. So it's unfortunate because this is where the court of a public opinion jumps in and is making judgments upon this person. What if this person's innocent? What if Judge Roy Moore is innocent of these crimes? Certainly isn't fair then. He's being judged in the court of public opinion. If he's guilty of these crimes, sure, he should be brought to justice for them. But we in America used to have a policy that we believed in that was innocent until proven guilty. However, with the lynch mob mentality that we seem to have, it is no longer innocent until proven guilty, but guilty, and now you have to prove your innocence. And the thing that seems to push us into the area of guilt is whether an anonymous source says that we did something wrong or not. These anonymous sources that are being used by the left are really kind of old, worn out, and tired. So here's an article with Gateway Pundit. It's been archived already in case somebody tries to pull it down. Roy Moore accuser caught scrubbing anti-Moore, anti-Trump postings from her Facebook page. One of the GOP Senate candidate Roy Moore's accusers, Debbie Gibson, worked as a sign language interpreter for Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. As Josh Kaplan reported on Friday, Deborah Wesson Gibson, as she goes by on Facebook, supports Moore's Democratic rival Doug Jones. The Washington Post did not disclose these details in their hit piece on Judge Roy Moore. On Friday, Newsmax columnist James Herson tweeted the Washington Post failed to disclose that one of Moore's accusers was a sign language interpreter for Joe Biden and a volunteer for Moore's Democratic opponent. Here's that posting right here from James Herson. While the Gateway Pundit cannot confirm Gibson is a volunteer for Doug Jones, we found Facebook posts that suggest she's a Democrat who wants to see Doug Jones become Alabama's next senator. Here she is working at the Clinton campaign stop in Alabama. In two separate posts, Gibson expresses her support for Doug Jones by sharing the Democratic candidate's Facebook post. Note the photo of Gibson and Biden that she posted herself in the comment section. She shared a story from New York Magazine highlighting Doug Jones' seemingly good chances at beating Moore. Okay, and goes on to say here, a woman alleges she engaged in legal and consensual but inappropriate relationship with Republican senatorial candidate Roy Moore, has deleted multiple political postings from her Facebook page. Some of these postings by Deborah Wesson Gibson were critical of Moore, while one was related to Moore's Democratic opponent Doug Jones. One posting shows a picture of Gibson with Vice President Joe Biden and says that she did work for him in 2012. One older version of the image is still on the page, while another more recent posting of that same image in response to a posting from Jones' official campaign Facebook was removed, but was captured by Breitbart News. Reached by Breitbart News, Gibson says that she has no comment on the removals of her Facebook posts. Other posts still active on her page repeatedly urge the immediate removal of President Donald Trump from office and show that Gibson's likes far-left activist groups. She also pushed a petition drive to remove Steve Bannon from the National Security Council last February when Bannon was serving as the White House Chief of Staff. She was one of three women quoted in the Washington Post claiming that Moore pursued or dated them when they were between the ages of 14 and 18 and when he was in his early 30s. The age of consent in Alabama is 16. The fourth woman claims that she was 14. Moore engaged in sex acts with her. Now, the mother, I believe, of the 14-year-old child has come forward and said this is impossible because her daughter did not have a phone in the room at that time, and her daughter's allegations are ludicrous. You got a problem here when the one who's doing the accusing happens to work for the opponent. You know, you see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? This is something pretty wacky that we're supposed to believe because this woman has come forward. Now, if this woman is lying, then she should be ashamed of herself because you shouldn't be lying about such things that are really serious issues because then it muddies the water for someone who really has an allegation. I'm leaning towards her being dishonest in this regard simply by what we're seeing. So I'm going to go with the innocent until proven guilty. and see if there's anything more that can come forward other than the fact that she's connected to the Democrats, to Joe Biden, and to the person that is running against Judge Moore. Again, if he's guilty of what he's done, he should pay for his crimes, but if he is not guilty, he should not be falsely accused. And the woman who's falsely accusing him, if that is the case, well, I think she should be thrown away, throw away the key, and never let a woman like that out into the world again. Because if somebody is willing to damage somebody's reputation like that, then that person, no matter if they are man, woman, black, white, red, yellow, green, or whoever they are, does not deserve to be mixing with the general population, because that person has a problem that only wants to cause more problems. All right, let's move forward here. Here's a really good infographic for you to check out, all about what's going on with this whole Russia Uranium One deal. So let's look here. Right in the center of everything, we have this company called Perkins Coie. Perkins Coie is a law firm. Okay, so let's look at all of these arrows pointing in towards Perkins Law Firm. We have the Democratic Party hires and pays Perkins Coie. We have Hillary Clinton for America hires and pays Perkins Coie. We have the Obama campaign that paid $972,000 to law firm that secretly paid Fusion GPS in 2016. So here you have three groups: the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, and Obama, all paying into a company called Perkins Coie. Perkins Coie then went ahead and they hired two companies, CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike come in and they checked the servers and said the servers were hacked. And when the FBI wanted to look at them, they said, you cannot look at our servers. You must take our word for it. Why would we lie? We've been hired by Hillary and Obama and the Democrats. We are honest. We tell you the truth. Well, they were lying. They weren't telling the truth. And then Fusion GPS, who was also hired by Perkins Coie, came in and they created a fake dossier. This is where Christopher Steele, the ex-spy, got involved, and the old Trump-Russia dossier was born. A lie, and a more lie. And then what did they do with this information from this lie? They thought that they would pass this on to Natalia Veselnitskaya, who would come to the United States then under suspicious means when she wasn't really able to, so somebody let her in. And then she goes to a meeting with Trump Jr. to pass on some information that is taken from a fraudulent document, thinking that Donald Trump Jr. was going to be dumb enough to take the bait, and guess what? He didn't take the bait. Democratic Party's getting caught because, as we know from history, they are the real scoundrels who've been causing problems throughout. Now here we have a case of a judge involved with the case here who is aware of person being sentenced. Judge in Fusion GPS case has a good friendship with John Podesta, teaches class with him at Georgetown Law. Well, maybe this guy needs to be removed. The federal judge who has been assigned the heavily anticipated Fusion GPS case is close friends with Clinton campaign chair John Podesta. The two have taught a course together at Georgetown Law School since 1997, raising various conflict of interest questions in the case. Question at hand is whether or not the House Intelligence Committee can force Fusion GPS to reveal which journalists it paid to push its phone in Russian dossier. Judge Richard Leon, a senior judge in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, will now be presiding over the case after the last judge was bizarrely removed from hearing it. As reported by John Hall, the free market shooter, Leon comes up several times in the leaked Podesta emails. You won't hear this stuff from the lying mainstream media. Keep to got news. All right. Moreover, Podesta and Leon teach a course together at Georgetown Law called Congressional Investigations Seminar. Yeah, go figure, huh? According to the March 18th, 2016 Washingtonian piece documenting the 2 decades of friendship, Podesta and Leon have been teaching together since 1997. Podesta describes it as a good friendship, and Leon is quoted as saying, John is every bit as too thin as I am too heavy. It's kind of an Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy. 2 days ago, the New York Times revealed how Podesta met with Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson after the election to continue the research on President-elect Donald Trump. Furthermore, it has been known for several weeks now that the Hillary campaign funded the infamous phony dossier Despite serving as chairman of the Clinton campaign, Podesta has denied knowledge of the campaign's role in funding the dossier. It remains unclear whether Judge Leone will recuse himself. Stay tuned for more. Boy, the swamp is deep, and these swamp creatures, they all know each other. Question is, what will happen in this regard? We will find out. Now, we're going to change gears here to talk about the issue of the Muslims. Are all Muslims bad? Well, I don't think all Muslims are bad. Just like members of all groups of people aren't bad. Whether it's black, whites, red, yellow, brown, whether it's males or females or this group or that group. Usually what you have is a small percentage of a group. 10, 15, 20% of the group might be bad. I guess you could say in the human population, we could look at that from a bigger perspective and say probably 10 to 20% of the human population is bad. People that are doing bad things. Now, the reason people are doing bad things versus good things is not because of the color of their skin, not because of their race or religion, but simply because those people are assholes. Plain and simple, okay? Plain and simple. And assholes, well, they're in all shapes, they're in all colors, they're in all races and religions. And they give the majority of the people, a part of those groups, a bad name because this small minority is out doing bad things in the name of the big group. So here we have a situation where we have refugees coming to countries across the world, America included, and they're going in and they're causing problems. We have the battle saying, oh, we have to let them all in, let them all in. And then they get let in, and we see one by one a trickle effect of problems occurring from the very people that were let in. People are surprised. How could they do this? Well, they've been doing this for 1400 years. Okay, since what, 322 AD, when Muhammad and his followers first went into Medina, then conquered Medina. They did so pretending to be refugees. And then as they continued to conquer throughout the last 1400 years, they do so pretending to be refugees. They mix in with the refugee population, and then they go in and then they take over the place that just took them in, because the people going in there aren't really refugees, but jihadis wanting to cause problems. And so what you have here in America is you have people who are ill-informed, like Wallowitz, from the Big Bang Theory, holds up the sign saying, let them in. Well, how many is he going to take into his home? Probably none, because he doesn't really understand the full implications of what he's saying. Because I'm pretty certain that if he let them in and somebody did something to his wife that is standing there holding up sign of letting them in also, I'm pretty sure he might be upset and wonder how that happened. So because somebody like Wallowitz is too dumb to understand what's going on, we're just going to disregard him and the other Hollywood celebrities, and we're going to pay attention ourselves, okay? Hollywood celebrities are too busy covering up and participating in the rape culture that is Hollywood to be involved with real life issues. So let them go and keep doing what they're going to do out there. They're going to get exposed for all their nonsense. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But let us pay attention to the real problem, which is a Muslim problem. Because when good people say and do nothing, then there's only problems. And right now there's a lot of good Muslims who need to say and do something. You had one person killed as a mob of 20,000 Muslims burns down a Hindu village in Bangladesh after rumors spread that local had insulted the Prophet Muhammad on Facebook. A mob of angry Muslims burned down a Hindu village in Bangladesh after rumors spread that a local had insulted Prophet Muhammad on Facebook. One person was killed and at least 5 more seriously injured after 20,000 Muslims attacked Hindu homes in the village of Thankaraburi in the Rangpur Sandur region of the country on Friday. Police fired rubber bullets and tear gas at the crowd after trouble flared when a villager allegedly posted a defamatory status about Prophet Muhammad. Well, that's really shameful. And there you go. There's the peaceful Muslims right there. They just destroyed a whole village, 20,000 of them. But any time we can expect Linda Sansour. She should be out there marching against them. I'm sure Madonna's going to want to jump up there, and all this other cast of real idiots from Hollywood who have their heads upside their backside. They'll probably want to jump up too and say something just because they're really got nothing better to do but continue to be stupid. So we'll expect stupid comments over the course of the day from them. Human trafficking. 22 men indicted on felony charges in Nashville after human trafficking operation. Okay, it's always good to know that human traffickers get brought to justice and are caught. Nashville, Tennessee. According to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, an undercover human trafficking operation conducted by the TBI, the Brentwood Police Department, Homeland Security Investigations, and the Office of 21st District Attorney General Kim Helper has resulted in mostly felony indictments for 22 men targeted in an effort to identify individuals attempting to purchase illicit sex from minors. Yet again, our collaborative effort proves human trafficking is happening every day in communities across Tennessee, says Jason Locke, Deputy Director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. For years, our state has led the way in fighting this injustice, and we won't stop doing whatever we can to send the message that it has to stop. During the first 3 days of the operation in early October, 2 female TBI agents posed as individuals offering sex on Backpage.com. During the course of the resulting text and phone conversations, the agents identified themselves as 14 and 16-year-olds. Those who were undeterred and still traveled to the location to meet for the purpose of illicit sex included a computer programmer, an automotive engineer, construction worker, and a chef. All right, so there you go, being brought to justice, which is good. Roseanne Barr has been speaking out quite a bit, as we know that she is not one to mince words. Here she is saying very directly that globalists are being warned about child trafficking network that is about to be exposed. With recent Hollywood pedophilia exposed, comedian and one-time Hollywood A-list star Roseanne Barr suggests stunning revelations on child trafficking will come to light in the very near future. Former child star Corey Feldman is already exposing a Hollywood child pedophilia ring when he decided to reveal the name of one of 6 Hollywood figures who molested him during the 80s and the 90s. Lots of people will become woke this week, says Roseanne Barr. According to the Gateway Pundit, Barr tweeted how President Trump is strongly opposed to child sex trafficking. She then underscored how important it is to stop the suffering of innocent children. I perceived Hollywood sexism to be so pervasive as not to even be noticed. It was class discrimination with racial undertones based on anti-Semitic, pseudo-spiritual necropedism. Hashtag this is now. Trump opposes child trafficking and knows exactly where the lacos is not mainly people are brave enough to know or remember that contain the information most blank out. All right, so more to this here. Just another example of the swamp being drained, good things happening. Now, here's a piece about Wonder Woman, or the woman who plays the character Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, who has decided that she doesn't want to be involved any further with the Wonder Woman franchise unless the director who has been charged with sexual harassment is gone. And again, here we have a case of a man who has been charged, or not been charged, but has been accused. And so now, are we looking at a case where it's the court of public opinion? I said before, I think it's wrong to be accused, and I think it's wrong for women to falsely accuse. Is this one of these situations, or is there enough evidence here that these women feel it's important to distance themselves, or is just the accusation itself enough? I don't know. These are tough questions to answer, but nonetheless, here is the article. Gal Gadot has announced she won't go forward with the Wonder Woman unless Warner Brothers cancels its co-financing deal with accused sexual assailant director Brett Ratner, whose company Rat Pack Entertainment has produced and profited from the first film. Rat Pack Dune, a joint venture with Dune Entertainment, also co-produced Justice League, in which Gal Gadot stars. Ratner has been accused by 6 women, including Olivia Nunn, of sexual harassment and misconduct. Another accused him of rape, and most recently, Ellen Page claims that he outed her and humiliated her for sexuality on the set. After her initial report, LA Times reporter Amy Kaufman says she has been contacted by 45 more individuals with allegations. Ratner has also made the personal choice to split from Warner Brothers for the good of the company. He says, in light of the allegations being made, I am choosing to personally step away from all Warner Brothers related activities. I don't want to have any possible negative impact on the studio until these personal issues are resolved. It's unclear what that really means, aside from the fact Deadline has reported that his office has been moved from the studio lot. He's off the Goldfinch project, and the company has canceled his first look deal, which gave Rat Pack Entertainment first choice over funding their movies. Gal Gadot has Warner Brothers by the balls since they've publicly taken the high road and have started their own investigations. A Warner Brothers insider told Page Six that Gadot knows that Warner Brothers has to side with her on this issue as it develops. They cannot have a movie rooted in women's empowerment being part financed by a man accused of sexual misconduct against women. The deal is more nefarious than that, and it's a point that's always the kind of undermine the film's message of female empowerment. Deadline has noted that the Rat Pack Entertainment deal was originally struck by Stephen Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary for most all-male, all-white administration of 20 years. Okay. So there you go. So Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, is making a stand. You know, I do agree with her making a stand there, because I think we've seen enough of the signs from Hollywood to know there's a lot of degeneracy, and women are pointing these fingers, and I think we do want to be aware that when there's these many allegations, you have to start wondering whether that person's involvement with something or not, taints that project or not. And I know that there are plenty of young women who do look up to the Wonder Woman character. I think she's been a great role model thus far, the character Gal Gadot, and I think this is a good move on her part to show that she wants to make sure that women are protected. So there you go. All right, let's throw in a little bit of Native American wisdom here to wrap things up for today. I'll just want to read through a couple of these here while time permits. First, we have the Cherokee prayer blessing. May the warm winds of heaven blow softly upon your house. May the Great Spirit bless all who enter there. May your moccasins make happy tracks in the snow, and may the rainbow always touch your shoulder. Native American prayer. O Great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, and whose hearts give life to all the world, hear me. I am small and weak. I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty, and make my eyes ever beheld the red and the purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise so I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden away in every leaf and rock. I seek strength, not to be greater than my brother, but to fight the greater enemy, the greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so when life fades as the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. Let's do another one. It says, honor the sacred, honor the earth, our mother. Honor the elders, honor all with whom we share the earth. Four-leggeds, two-leggeds, winged ones, swimmers, crawlers, plant and rock people. Walk in nature and beauty. Native American elder. Here we have Lakota instructions for living.
90 seconds.
Friends, do it this way. That is, whatever you do in life, do the very best you can with both your heart and your mind. And if you do it that way, the power of universe will come to your assistance. If your heart and your mind are in unity, when one sits in the hoop of the people, one must be responsible, because all creation is related, and the hurt of one is the hurt of all, and the honor of one is the honor of all, and whatever we do affects everything in the universe. If you do it that way, that is, if you truly join your heart and your mind as one, whatever you ask for, that's the way it's going to be. Passed down from White Buffalo, Calf Woman. Lots of wisdom amongst the Native American communities over the many, many years. So let us go forth in the world, my friends, today. Let's take this wisdom. Let's take the wisdom that God has put into our hearts. Let's make it usable in the world. Remember, we're dealing with a lot of emotions within the conscious mind, but we're making that transition into a movement phase where our mind is going to be active and thinking, seeking out balance. Let's seek out real, legal balance, law, justice. Let's not get into the social aspect of things and the social warrior type of justice, because that's not real. That's a lynch mob mentality, and we're better than that. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.